Hello, welcome back to the channel. We are of course going on the 1957 Chevy Bel Air. This is update number 4, and we've done a little bit. The problem, as I've mentioned before, has been the quality of the plastic, very poor. So there's so much cleanup and shaping involved in each of the parts that it's really taking quite a long time. Plus that, and I keep stopping to talk. So let's have a look and see where we've got to. So I'm going to start with the chassis, the base first. Quite a difference from before. The engine's now sat in place. We've got this back boarding, and we've got the wheel housing in the boot for where the spare wheel goes. If we flip it up now, we can see that the axle from the last episode, the last update, is now in position and painted. We've got the suspension arms, the leaf springs are in, and they do look a lot better now than they did when they came off the sprue. If we come down to the front, I've got a nice finish on the exhaust there. That is Vallejo acrylic metal colour, and it's semi-matte aluminium. And you can see now that's brush painted on, so I'm pleased with that. That's gone on really well. There's no brush marks. And it has that look of a new exhaust. Now the downpipes, this one particularly, this snapped into 3 different places. All of the cracks are on this sort of bend here, so it's amazing that it's still in one piece, but I have managed to glue it back together. I've managed to feed that through. I did have to add a plastic shim in between the manifold outlets and the downpipe, purely because there was about a millimetre gap and there was no more give in it, so I needed to put something in there to make that gap up. So I just shaped a bit of square sprue and got that in there. In fact, I think I took off this whole outlet pipe at the top here, and I reshaped everything off the model and then glued that back in afterwards. I decided then that I wanted to add the distributor wires. They were kindly supplied to me by Paul Shapland, who sent me some. I've got it here somewhere, or perhaps I'll put it in the drawer. Anyway, Paul sent me a whole length of this wire here, which I'm using for the distributor cap spark plug leads. There's the distributor cap there. It has come away from the engine, so it does need gluing back on. Let me just zoom out a bit and see if I can come in. No, that's as far as it will go for me. So let me just try, and you can see it there. It's come off the, and that's what I use to scratch build my Dizzy cap. Very simply done. I'll perhaps do a little video on it another time and show you exactly how to make one of these. Very simple. Round the front, I decided to paint the fan a yellow colour. Yes, the blades do come like that in the kit. There's none broken. That is how they come. So that engine's going to be a bit rumbly. And I've just basically tried to do the best I could with the parts that I had, and I've got to say I'm really pleased with how it's turned out, that engine. It was pretty dire. There was a lot of well, there was a lack of detail on the parts. Lots of flash, lots of it was just generally naff. And I'm really pleased with how that's come out. So also the wheels are now on. They were de-chromed in bleach, and I've re-chromed them, not re-chromed them, sorry, I've painted them in AK metals, super metals is it, or something, AK, I've got the bottle around here somewhere, there we go, in that, AK Metal Extreme, that's it, and that one is chrome, which is number AK477. Very good stuff. When you put it on, be aware that your first coat, as you're putting it on, will look a bit shit. Really, there's no other way of putting it. It looks a bit dull and grey, almost like the matte, semi-matte aluminum that the metal colour does. But then, as you leave it, it starts to brighten up, shine up and everything, and it comes out looking really good, like so. And I think they've come out really well. Really pleased with those. So they're on. We've got bits and pieces now that we're starting to look at. I can tell you for straight away that the seats and that are going on, there's problems with gaps there. Just to demonstrate what I'm sort of working with. So I've got to just try and position that in a way that you can see. There is, you can see the gap down the side here. Let me get it in. So we're looking this side. There you see that gap that runs down the side of the seat. There, so I mean that is dire, and it's the same the other side. If I can get it in shot, there you can see my finger through it. And that's all the way around. When you put the seats in and the various different pieces, they are. So we put that on there, and you can see it doesn't form to the sides at all. The seats don't form. So when I say reshape, they literally, you have to file a bit, put it on, file a bit, put it on, and you've got to keep going like that. And they are, the alternative is to just fill it, put body filler in, but I like to, where possible, just try and, because that I can just take a smidgen off there and that may slide in, but we'll wait and see. Now then, the other thing that I worked on was the body, and yeah, the body was also a problem, but I'm particularly pleased with the body. Now I don't think it's going to show too well on, I'm told it doesn't show as well on video as it does in photo, and I know the photos are not as good as it does in real life. So here we go. This is the look at that. Now I can tell you that this is gold. It's in particular it's Mr. Hobby super metallic gold or super gold. I've got photos of it in gold, and then it's got clear red sprayed over the top. Now there are about 7 or 8 coats of clear red. I really thinned it down quite a lot, and 7 or 8 coats, and I've got to say it has come out absolutely fantastic. This is straight off the airbrush. There's been no polishing done to this at all. This is Tamiya Clear Red X27 sprayed on and then left to dry. It's had nothing else done to it. I am just completely mesmerised by this finish. You can see the gold underneath there. When you flash it in the light, first you see the red, then you see the gold underneath, especially when you've got some light there, and then you get you can see an orange there as well. It really is a fantastic finish. Yeah, I know people that can't even get it like that with an acrylic gloss on. Or I've known people like that can't get it with an acrylic gloss on. So I'm very, very lucky that I've managed to achieve that. But I would point out that a lot of time went into sanding, wet sanding, spraying a very thin layer, letting it dry. I used every bit of knowledge I had at my disposal to do as good a job as that as I could possibly do, and for once it actually paid off, and it worked for me. So super chuffed with that. And of course, obviously it wasn't done alone. The doors, the boot lid, the bonnet, the doors, they were all done at the same time, so I did remember to do those. So that's pretty much where we are. Now I've got to put the decals on onto the bodywork, and we're sort of carrying on with this. We've got that going along on the side, and it's slowly all coming together. I really don't know how much longer this will take, because of the fact there's so many pieces having to get cleaned up and everything. But yeah, it's going along nicely, and I'm enjoying building it, which is the important thing. It's been a long time since I've actually enjoyed building something. That may be because I've knocked the Wednesday live streams on the head, but who knows? I'm just enjoying it for the moment, so that's a good thing. So thanks for watching. Give a like if you're enjoying this style of update, and I look forward to seeing you next time. So until then, goodbye.